Okay. I think they're just working with Gina. Okay, great. We're going to hear first from Chairman Rob Pitts, Chief Operating Officer Anna Roach, Deputy Chief Operating Officer Dr. Pamela Rochelle. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you all for joining us still this morning. I'm Rob Pitts. I chair the Board of Commissioners of Fulton County, and I'm joined this morning by Dick Anderson, our County Manager, our Chief Operating Officer, Ms. Anna Roach, and our Deputy Chief Operating Officer, Dr. Pamela Rochelle. This is a very exciting day for us here in Fulton County, but more importantly, it's a very exciting day for many of our needy citizens. And I say many of our needy citizens because there are citizens within Fulton County who are, as a direct result of COVID-19, have lost their jobs and therefore having trouble paying their monthly rent and or utilities. And quite frankly, when we received word just about a month ago that we would be receiving $18 million to be used for rental and utility assistance, we were all thrilled here. But we really went to work right away to craft a program that would be responsive to the needs of the many citizens who would meet the federal criteria. The $18 million that we received is to be used in Fulton County, but outside of the city of Atlanta. Outside of the city of Atlanta, because the city of Atlanta received its own allocation. And one little statistic that I was quite surprised about was that most people, I'm sure, would have thought that the neediest part of our county would be the southern part of the county. But the city with the most need, based upon our research, is Sandy Springs, believe it or not. And that's primarily due to the huge number of apartment complexes that are in Sandy Springs. If you apply the federal criteria to the need based upon the federal criteria, there's some excess of some 30,000 people who would qualify. But based upon the criteria that we've set up, and Mrs. Roach and Dr. Rochelle will go into more detail about the limits of the program, when you do the math, up to $1,300 a month for rental assistance for up to 6 months, I believe, and up to $200 a month for utilities assistance. When you do the math, that comes out to about 2,500 plus needy citizens compared to the need in excess of 30,000. So even though that $18 million sounds like a lot of money, in the scheme of things, it is not. But from my perspective, some assistance is better than no assistance at all. So with that, as an introduction, I'd like to ask Dr. Our Chief Operating Officer, Mrs. Anna Roach, to come up and go into more details about the program, and she will be followed by Dr. Pamela Rochelle.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for that introduction and the summary of our program. We could not be more delighted to bring this program to fruition for the constituents of Fulton County outside of the city of Atlanta. We are pleased to announce that the city of Atlanta met the population criteria for getting its own funding directly from the federal government. And so the city of Atlanta will be running a similar program for their jurisdiction as well. When we received the funding, as the chairman said earlier last month, the Board of Commissioners charged our Health and Human Services team with bringing this program to fruition as soon as possible so that the most neediest constituents and tenants in need in Fulton County could be assisted. And so we hit the ground running to pull this program together, pull all the components of this program together to achieve a March 1st launch date. And we're very proud of that launch date. There was a lot that went into the planning for delivering this program by March 1st, to include identifying an application partner. We partnered with Neighborly, who is known in this space for rental assistance or providing the application management for rental assistance. That program is now up and running and will be a part of our March 1 launch. We also partnered with many of the departments within Fulton County so that we could bring together a call center, which we are using and leveraging the staff from some of our departments, but mostly temporary staff using staffing agencies. The call center is an important part of the formula for the success for this program, because we do know that while our application management system that Neighborly provides is electronic, we're also sensitive to the fact that there are many constituents within our jurisdiction that don't have access to the internet and don't have access to a computer. And so for those constituents, again, we have pulled together this call center, which we are launching today, that will not only be able to field questions related to the rental assistance program, but will also be able to assist those constituents who do not have access to a computer or the internet with their application directly from our call center. So we're very excited about that partnership. On the payment side, we hope to expedite payments by using the county's internal system to be able to pay landlords as well as utility companies directly. So we're glad to partner with our finance department on the payment side of that equation as well. The chairman touched briefly on this, but for qualifications, we are strictly following the federal guidelines for qualifications for this program. And so the federal government requires that those that qualify for funding are within 80% of the area median income. The other thing that the guidelines provide is that we, Fulton County, as a grant recipient, are to prioritize those tenants and constituents who apply that are within 50% of the area median income, and we're also required to prioritize those that have been unemployed for 90 days or more. So for purposes of qualifying for assistance, those are the minimum basic criteria that you need to meet in order to qualify for the program or receive special consideration. So we're very proud to be able to have the right infrastructure in place to be able to evaluate applications on a timely basis so that our constituents can get funding as soon as possible through their landlords or utility companies. The other criteria I'd like to go over with you, and again, the chairman touched on this, is our application award thresholds. The first threshold we set is for rental assistance. That threshold is Fulton County will fund up to $1,300 monthly for up to 6 months worth of funding for rental assistance. The other threshold we set is on utility assistance. Renters will be able to apply for up to $200 per month for a total of 6 months within our program. All of these items are laid out for everyone on our website, which I encourage everyone to visit if they are interested or think they might qualify. Our website is fultoncountyga.gov/rent help. fultoncountyga.gov/rent help. So those are the basic qualifications for the program, and again, we are thrilled to bring this program to you, and we're thrilled to have been able to do so on an expedited basis based on the charge of the Board of Commissioners to get this funding in the hands of constituents as soon as possible. I'd like to call up now Dr. Pamela Rochelle, who is our Deputy Chief Operating Officer for Health and Human Services. She's going to give you a little bit more information about the call center itself, as well as the application process.
Thank you, Ms. Roach, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the call center will open at 12 noon. You can call 833-716-2223. That's 833-716-2223. The call center will be opened Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. until 7 p.m. and on Saturdays from 9 until 12 noon. And so again, we are very excited about the opportunity to serve Fulton County constituents in this way. The pandemic has really increased the number of rent-burdened households in our communities. For the application portal, Rent Help, it's fultoncountyga.gov/rent help. There you will find an apply button. You simply click on that apply button. It will take you to the application portal. You do not have to complete the application in one sitting. You have the opportunity to gather documents that you will need to upload in order for your application to be complete. So you will not be able to complete an application until you upload all of the required documents. We do have a great team of call center agents that are ready to answer your questions and to assist you as you need assistance to apply for this much-needed program. So we look forward to serving you today, starting at 12 noon. Again, the call center and the application portal will open.
Thank you. Are there any questions for any of our speakers?
And just to be clear, it covers every city except Atlanta, correct?
That's correct.
And the unincorporated portion.
That's correct.
Yes, that's correct. Every community outside of the city of Atlanta, because Atlanta received their own funding.
You expecting a lot of calls?
So, yes.
We are expecting a
Yes, so
Don't
this
speak for
morning,
you.
we have a customer service call center here in Fulton County. We already received over 100 calls to our customer service regular call center, so we know that callers are anxious and we're ready to serve them.
Absolutely, and if we take, for example, what has been going on with our neighboring counties and the volume of applications and calls that they've been receiving, we are not only expecting, but very much prepared to handle the call volume that we will be receiving this morning. So we are anticipating a tremendous amount of calls. As Dr. Rochelle said, we've gotten calls to our customer service centers, and she and I probably have gotten countless emails over the weekend and today. So we're excited about launching at noon because we know this is highly anticipated.
How much did it surprise you that the greatest demand was in Sandy Springs of all the cities that participated?
Well, I've expressed my surprise. I mean, when you think Sandy Springs, you think North County, you think Wealth, but that's really not the case. And I think it's a function of the number of apartments that are in Sandy Springs. So when you look at it, and I have to thank the manager and his team for really looking at it and doing an analysis that what I thought was very thorough, and to pinpoint exactly where the needs are in our county. So they're to be commended for that. And that's why when I looked at it, I said, is this right? And I saw Sandy Springs as the one, and the numbers don't lie.
But despite where you are, even if you're in the most needed area of Sandy Springs, you got to be first come, first served, right? With only 2,500 slots.
Yes, so to some degree, it's first come, first serve. Again, the federal requirements do constrain us to ensure that we prioritize those that have been either unemployed for 90 days or more, or those that are below 50% of the area median income. So if you think about it, if someone who rightfully qualifies is below 80% of AMI, if we are also looking at an application that comes in a day later, 2 days later, that is within 50% of AMI, we will, by the federal guidelines, have to prioritize those more vulnerable tenants.
I know that it's been a huge topic of discussion when you all have met with the mayors of all these cities. What's been the response and any of you can answer this, that you've gotten thus far from those mayors about now the program being active and being live?
I think that the one thing I would like to say about that, and I've been a part of all of the conversations with the mayors, is that I think that they are grateful that Fulton County has pulled together such a robust program in such a short period of time. I think one of the things that they appreciate is not having to have individually established the infrastructure that it took to run this program. One of the things that is different about this set of funds than, as an example, the CARES funds we received in 2020, are that the compliance requirements and the eligibility requirements are much more stringent. And so the infrastructure that you need to establish, including the community assessment, which the chairman referred to, was something that we had the infrastructure to do as a county before, and had the ability to do as a county was to scale it up and to put it in place for the execution of this $18 million. So the feedback that I've received so far from the mayors is that they're grateful that Fulton County had the ability to put the infrastructure in place to execute these funds.
And Anna, could you just comment on the vision that both you and Dr. Rochelle had to create this infrastructure and the possibility of additional federal funding, and then how simple it will be to activate this going forward to serve more than 2,400?
Sure thing. What the manager is referring to is something that Dr. Rochelle and I struggle with all the time as you know, part of the infrastructure necessary to execute health and human services. Rental assistance for those in need and are at risk for homelessness is not new to COVID-19. We've had to address risks for homelessness across the board over many, many years, including last year and now this year, which has made it more acute. So as a community, what we have been thinking through over the last several years is how we put in place a sustainable infrastructure to execute funds made available for rental assistance. And the exciting thing that Dr. Rochelle smile at and I smile at every morning is that for once we do believe that we have put the ideal infrastructure in place that is sustainable and scalable for not just this $18 million worth of funding, but also anything else that could come down the pipeline. As you know, the federal government is currently evaluating a COVID-2 relief package, and we believe that what we have put in place today, beginning with this wonderful call center that we're planning to open here in just a few minutes, that what we've put in place today will not only give us the ability to execute these funds, but also put in place the right tools and resources to execute any number of funds that could come with the second aid package.
I think we are going to go ahead and wrap, but if you guys are interested in getting some, looking around the call center and getting some footage of that, and then at 12 o'clock, Chairman Pitts is going to ring the starter bell and get us started.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
How are we on time?
We have about 12 minutes.
Okay.
I remember before. We didn't want to, we don't, with all due respect, we didn't think we needed to talk for 12 more minutes. But they can.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, so, yeah, if you want to move around, isn't it? They did a good job. And the application. Ma'am. She did her thing. What stakeholders are R2? R2, yes.
I just did not want to go back to that meeting on Wednesday and not have